This is a real quick video of the Rowe Imperial vending stack. This is part 6. It's only going to be a few minutes because I'm at the point now where I'm just going to have to send it out and have someone look at it. So when you put the quarter in, it sits in this holder right here. And when you have weight down on this plate, that allows the pull rod to advance forward. So right now, I've got everything set up to vend, and so if you look carefully, there's this component down below that moves back and forth so it can drop the coin into the coin box. And so that's working just fine. So it opens when you pull the rod out, and then it closes when you put the rod back in. But what I can't figure it out, is how come it does it on a free play. Right now there's no coin in there, so if there was product in there right now in column 6, it would be free. I'm not having to use a quarter right now. So when this resets, that's going back and forth, and that's opening and closing. So as I pull the rod out, it opens it, and that would drop the coin in, and then when I put it back in, it would close the shutter. So I'm calling it. If I put another product down, it wants to be free. I'm not having to put a quarter in. The only thing that this component does right here is it just springs back the rod to the position, the closed position, so it puts tension back on the rod to close it. So the only thing I could think of is that with it even though I've done it with the back in the machine, is that there's something to do with the back side of this mechanism. Again, I believe these springs here are for the feelers, which would have been for the they could have been 5 cents and then, or 10 cents and then 5 cents. So I don't think this component here has any purpose for today's vending. I only have one coin chute that goes down that takes a quarter, so I don't have a 15-cent projector. So I'm stuck on a quarter. Based on availability, I'm not going to be able to find a projector that takes 15 cents in that machine. So when we turn the machine upside, or on the upside down, the only thing that we have is we have the roller, which advances the rod forward, and then that would just spring it back, which is this lever right here. As far as everything that has to do with the shutter and opening and closing is right here. So I can't think of any other components that would move back and forth to be able to reset this so it would take a quarter. So we have I mean, it's real simple. We have the roller, which is like on a dowel that has gears on it, and then there are the teeth right here that guide that roller down when you pull it out, and then the dowel with the gears on it has the return on that, and that allows that to spring back to the closed position. There aren't any other functions that I can think of. I don't see anything that's been modified or anything that has been removed from the mechanism that would make it free play. Right now, it's still in the free operation. If I can get this free. So that's free right now. I'll put my quarter in, and then when that quarter sits in there, when that rejector's in there, it sits right there. And then when you have product in there, it drops, and then it goes all the way, and then it goes back. But right now, if there's going to be anything in there, it's just going to keep allowing it to vend. So when I turn these rods, that's moving that bar. So the bar inside there, which is got my foot there, the bar inside there is moving back and forth for each rod. So you've got all the rods are working, everything's free, and this is for the matches, which is a penny, but everything is free and everything is moving, but it's not requiring a coin. So that is part 6. Not a lot of information, nothing new. Still trying to work through mainly just this thing taking a quarter and then requiring a quarter. That's where I'm at. So right now it's free play. There's no quarter required. If there's something sitting on these product shelves, it's going to vend. I want to get it where when I put a quarter in there, put a quarter in that slot, I want it to be able to require a quarter. The only reason I can't pull the rod right now is because there's nothing pushing down that lifter. When you push that down, that moves that lifter in the up position, and that allows the plate or the delivery platform to move forward. So everything is moving the way it should. We just are stuck on free play. If I had the rejector and the coin mechanism in the machine, it would look like this. And there isn't anything else I can do. So if I drop a quarter, it should drop in the slot, and it did. So if you look at that down there, it's down there. You can barely see it. The quarter rests right there. When we have that rod ready, it opens that shutter, and then when it drops in the coin box, and it closes the shutter. So at this point, the only other consideration would be that perhaps with these springs worn out right here, that is causing an issue with something to move back and forth. Again, there's no feelers in the quarter slot. They're only in the dime and the nickel slot. So if I needed to have this to work like it normally would have, I believe it would have been in the position of the entry bezel. So you would have had 10 cents on the left as you dropped it through the chute, and then you'd have had 15 cents to the right of the block. So it would have looked like this. So these feelers were in here. So then the coin, it would feel that when they dropped in, it would help guide those coins into place. And so when you pull that would allow these to drop. So again, I don't think there's any other components that would lock this thing up. I've taken this thing out, I've put it back on the rack, I've taken the rejector out, I've put it back and forth, and I can't get it to work. On another note, I was able to find some soft packs from a friend of mine, and these soft packs work in the column. So this is going to be the smallest soft pack they make, and I believe it's going to be, it's like 2 3/4 by 2.5 inches long. And so when you rest that in the product shelf, it sits right there, and then that would allow it to drop in there. So you have, so as it drops, that rod comes down, and then the conveyor, if you watch carefully, the little guide allows it to drop down into the delivery chute. So it's encouraging to know that product will work in there, and that now watching the product go down, you can see what each piece does on the vending rack assembly. So yeah, it's kind of cool, and I'll have to continue to work through this machine piece by piece.